going on, you guys? Welcome you guys to the channel. It's your boy Big Dog back with another one take review. And today I got one for My Hero Academia Season 5, Episode 3, which goes through a lot of things and also teases you a bit because this episode ends at a point where you're honestly frustrated, okay? I'm not going to lie, you're going to be very, very frustrated. We all know that we have Class 1A versus 1B this season, and we get to that eventually. Because first we have to go through Deku pretty much talking to All Might. Deku couldn't sleep anymore. He had to go out and work out. You know what I'm saying? My boy always working. That's my dollar. You heard me? But we have a moment with him just talking to All Might pretty much about everything. And like All Might, like, yeah, this has happened to me before. But one thing that's never happened to him is that he talked to the first user of All for One. Hold up. One for All, my bad. He talked to the first user of One for All and All my like, nah, that's never happened to me. It's like, what happened when you talk? So it's just like Deku pretty much telling him about him seeing everybody. He was like, yo, you were kind of blurred out. And there was two other people I couldn't see. I don't know what's going on with that. Which if All Might doesn't know, I mean, Deku doesn't. I mean, so it's like, what that has to be significant in some kind of way, right? But we see the other users and something that got brought up this episode that I completely forgot. I'm probably finna rewatch My Hero Academia and out from like beginning to end. But was that the first time Deku fought Shinzo, and he brought it up when he saw Shinzo, is that was when Deku used Deku with mind control, and he used All for One. But that was One for All. But that was also when he saw the shadows of the previous users of One for All in the hallway. So I was thinking to myself, like, did he trigger it? And like, was there something going on that triggered it in Deku's mind? Like what exactly, you know what I'm saying, was going on with that? So that to me was a big deal, and I was just like, okay, we're gonna see what's going on with that eventually. Maybe if it happens again this arc, maybe we'll get more of it. Because I always thought like there's one of the One for All users who had like something over their face, so I'm kind of wondering like, what was it? Maybe they relate to Shinzo, or maybe it was just like a coincidence. I like it's kind of a stretch, you know what I'm saying? But I was just like, maybe it could have been like one of Shinzo's like grandparents or something like that, or great grandparents, and he heard about how great of a hero they were, and he was like wanted to be that's one of his reasons for wanting to be a hero. But like he's like in a tough situation because even when he was in class talking about with like his friends, they was like, oh man, that's such a great power. Like you can do a bunch of bad stuff, because if you really look at like some powers and some quirks, you'd be like, oh, that's a villain quirk, you know. Even though no matter what you think, it's like you can control people, and it feels so manipulative. Like as a hero, that's not what you want to do. You kind of with being a hero, it's more than just like defeating a bad guy. You kind of want to like get them to the point that they don't want to do things again. You know what I'm saying? Don't want to be on that side anymore. But with Shinzo, it's you just pretty much like forcing them. You know what I'm saying? It's like forcing them to do certain things. So it's like kind of like a tricky situation. I don't know how exactly he's looking at it, but like that's pretty much how my thought process. Not only that, we go into I'm trying to think. And then we obviously go to see what's going on with the rest of the students and everything. But even before that, it was one thing they were talking about with like singularities, with like quirks passed down from generation to generation, and then we're gonna be like, at one point it's gonna be too powerful to control. So I'm kind of wondering, since Deku was like number 9, and that quirk's been passed down a while, and every time it's developed more. And I think it's been passed down quicker than like somebody let's say, for example, who's like having kids. Like, because they might, you know what I'm saying, somebody might have kids, they might have another kid, you know what I'm saying, generational, but Deku, like, he kind of sped up that process, if you know what I'm saying, kind of like bypassed the whole thing, and so you just have these people pass down his quirk till you get to number 9, and that quirk is probably super powerful. So we have to see exactly how that will come into play with Deku and his quirk. Because I do think there's more to One for All than what we've seen, just like the strength aspects. I think it's much more layered. I also think Deku's going to be a late bloomer. He's going to get his own quirk. That's just me. There's some speculation, some headcanon that I have. So, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. But then we get to the sports festival. We start getting the matchups. We see that Shinzo's going to be on both sides. And then the first side, he's with, he's with Kaminari, Kirishima, Sue, oh God, Koji, I think his name is Koji, the guy who can talk to animals. So, and then we get introduced to like some of the students from 1B, the guy who we saw was able to like create fields with like his with air, compressed air. It kind of reminds me of General Criminal a little bit. Yeah, that dude reminds me of General Criminal. But General Criminal was definitely different though. So he's able to put what's the name in a box. And then you have the guy who Jorzo. It's something like that. I'm trying to remember everybody's name without having to constantly look at it. You know what I'm saying, on like a piece of paper or something, because that's how you learn it. If I just constantly keep going to a paper, you know what I'm saying, I had to be my only source. So I'm just trying to remember them off the head. But those are the only two. And then you also have the girl with the vine. She's pretty much all just filling everything around. They've seen a lot of Class 1A. So Class 1B, you kind of think in like far as strategy, they have like the advantage because they know so much about them because they've been on the news, the sports festival, they're always in something, you know what I'm saying? They're the golden child, they always pass it up in front of stuff. So you get to see their abilities quite often. So Class 1B has I think they have the tactical advantage, but at the same time, Class 1A is very advanced simply because they have been in those situations. So now you're going to have to think like, okay, well, they know us. That's pretty much going to be how it's going to be in the real world where like villains know who we are, so they're going to know our quirks, so it's another thing you're going to have to combat. But you also have Shinzo who look like a liability at first because you have one person who gets captured. The next thing you know, you have the beast pretty much about to attack them because Kaminari can't use his electricity around everybody. Who, out of the 4 people who got captured, I think Coach Kodo. Is it Kodo? It might be. No, it's not Kodo. I think it's Koji. I still think it's Kodo. The guy who talked to animals. He's the one who got captured. But then at the same time, and Sue got knocked away, as well as Red Riot. So you just have Kaminari there with Shinzo and the guy who can talk. So Kaminari can't use his technique. And then you have the Beast. I'm just calling him Beast. Finna pretty much attack them. And then you hear the guy who's able to project the air or like condensed air, you hear his voice. And I did catch this at first. But then you see the beast lulling and he's brain control. And you see it's Shinzo, he's able to mimic other people's voice. It's like this vocal cords, you know what I'm saying? They change his voice, which is crazy because you can't see when his mouth moves, so you don't know it was coming from him. Because I had to rewind it and see, I'm like, and they show you the guy, but you hear his voice and his lips aren't moving. So it's like, it wasn't him. So now it's like Shinzo has a terrific way to use his quirk now, because that is dangerous. Like how do you combat that if you're just out in the field? Because let's say one of your teammates is in danger, and you want to answer it, but at the same time it's like you don't know if it's them. If you answer it, you could be be brainwashed. But if you don't, yeah, your teammate can actually be in danger. So it's just like a great way. And I can't wait to see how he used the rap that Aizawa gave him, because I think Aizawa gave him that for a reason. Aizawa was able to cancel out quirks and he's able to brainwash. It's not the same, but at the same time, that's Aizawa's thing. Like he has to be good at that. Like if you think about it, Aizawa's only quirk is able to cancel out quirks. Yet Aizawa is very skilled in fighting and how he uses rags. So that's probably what's name is what Shinzo is. Shinzo is going to have to be able to combat against people with strong, abnormally strong quirks, who might know his quirk, who he might not be able to catch off guard, who he might not be able to brainwash. He's just gonna have to like straight up beat them, or it's a word I'm looking for. I think it's an S word I'm looking for. It's not gonna come to me before I wanted when I wanted to. But like he's gonna be able to take people down and like capture them, villains obviously, but like in a way that's different from most other heroes who have an advantage of their quirk being like either powerful or unique enough to like use against villains. But it's like he's gonna have to use his own skill, and he has to be creative, which is something I like, because it's not just like He's not giving anything. You know what I'm saying? I like that. I like that a whole bunch. I'm liking his character already. I liked him even the first time I saw him because he even in this episode when he gives a speech, he's like, "Yo, I'm at a disadvantage here, and like I'm behind. I'm not here to be friends. I need this." I'm like, that's kind of I think Bakugo actually respects him because even when Bakugo was watching, he was just kind of like, okay. But he's kind of pretty much how I wanted Bakugo to be. But even though Bakugo was just naturally talented and like knew how to use his quirk, you know what I'm saying? Bakugo was kind of like gifted, and I would say so. Shinzo is kind of different, but like Shinzo's attitude is kind of how I would have rather see Bakugo than rather just kill. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like he was disappointed where he was like, "Oh, you have to capture 4 people." Why can't I just kill him? He didn't say that, but he was thinking it. Overall, I love My Hero Academia. Every single episode this season is just far. The dub just started today, so I'm probably gonna go back and rewatch the first episode again, just because I like watching in dub and sub. Overall, thought the episode was great. Really excited to see Class 1A versus 1B because I know it's gonna be some of the best shit ever because we have all these different matchups. You get to learn a lot about Class 1B students and their abilities and their quirks, and I don't think it's going to be a one-sided battle whatsoever. I think Class 1B came to play, and they're going to show us that, like, hey, we're not the underdogs. Like, we legit, too. So I'm kind of wondering how they're going to do it. They're going to have, like, single individual battles as well as the team stuff. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, but I'm just going to wait to see. You guys, let me know what you thought about the episode down in the comments. Hit that like button, subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching the video. Hope you guys staying safe, and I'll catch you with you guys later. Peace. I know that was a lot real fast, but my bad.